Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Hoops All In podcast. I'm your host, Orleans Francois, Kane Legacy, Kyle Anthony. Guys, how you doing today?
Hey,
Hey, how you doing, man?
good to be back.
Man, it's feel like it's been a while, but it's only been just a week since we last recorded our last episode. So
Has it
when it
really? Wow.
yeah, that quick. That quick. So we are still in the thick of things with the NBA playoffs. A lot has been going down these past few weeks. We are in the semi second round. And so now we got about 8 teams left. Golden State, Memphis. We got a lot of action going on in that series, and that's where we're going to start the first conversation. So safe to say there's been a lot of foul play and trippiness and chirpiness going on between Memphis and the Golden State series. Jordan Gary Payton, excuse me, the second is eventually out, unfortunately out for the series and possibly the whole playoffs with the broken elbow. Dylan Brooks was suspended for a game and flagrant foul penalty two kicked out for the foul that caused Gary Payton to break his elbow. Draymond Green received a flagrant foul two and was ejected in game one. John Morant missed game four due to a knee injury, and he even accused Jordan Poole of grabbing his knee, causing the knee injury. So it's safe to say that there's a lot of, action going on in this series. And I wanted to ask you guys, should the NBA look to do something in this series since there's a lot of hard-nosed physical basketball injuries have been piled up on both sides? Or is this just another one of those hard-nosed playoff basketball that especially old heads in the media has been complaining about now that the NBA has quote unquote gotten soft? What do you guys think about this?
Well, I first of all, I just think that it's just playoff basketball. I think that there's, you know, we all kind of have an idea of who dirty players are, and even people that we think are dirty players are not ones who are out to literally injure you. That's just not, nobody does that, So there's just bang bang basketball plays that happen, whatever. There's unintentional fouls that sometimes hurt somebody, sometimes injure somebody, but to go back and forth with the accusations and what's intentional and things like that. No, I don't really think that's it. The game slows down a lot in the playoffs. Everybody knows that, and it's a whole different world from the regular season. You play harder. A lot of people are already injured. Everybody's tired, and these things happen. There's someone going to try and do something blatant in front of thousands of people and three referees. I don't think that's the case in terms of like with Jordan Poole versus John Morant. Things happen, in terms of unintentional movements and things like that, whatever. But to me, someone who is quote unquote dirty is trying to commit a foul that a ref is not going to see. You know what I mean? Maybe they'll poke you a little bit when you're in the going in for a layup, or maybe they'll give you a little chicken wing elbow, and see if somebody, hopefully they don't get caught, which is something that Jordan and I think Kobe might have done a lot, from what other players have said about them. So no, I don't think there's any dirty players involved in this, and I don't think it's something that suddenly everyone should be on the lookout for. If anything, referees are just going to call the games between these two that much tighter. But hey, the drama creates interest, and the interest creates ratings, and the ratings generate more revenue, and people are going to love the quote unquote rematch, in the beginning of the regular season or on Christmas Day or whenever these guys meet again, after the playoffs. So that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think controversy is good for ratings, and that's good for the game. I mean, like the only thing I think they'll call the tech call, if it's ironic because we're talking about like physical, but like the tech called against Giannis for staring at
Al
Horford.
Right.
He stared at him and got a technical. Like,
right.
that's But it's ironic, like if they're gonna be playing them more physical this year, getting a stare for a technical, like that's kind of like, where are we going? Like, are we not, you know what I mean? Like, what are we, yeah, like, are they calling everything, or they just gonna let them play, or what are they, you know what I mean? Like with a stare, like I'm staring at you guys right now. Like,
I'm gonna tee you up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, as long as the refs are consistent, man. I mean, as far as the comparison to like the old school game versus now, like there's no doubt that, I mean, these things the fact that we're even talking about how physical they are right now proves the point that they were more physical back in the day. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't really a big deal.
Right,
They
it
were
wasn't an
playing like
issue.
this in the regular season. You know what I mean? Back in the day. So, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
I mean, who am I to say? Like I've said before, though, the players nowadays are more skilled than the players back in the day. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think this is just much to do about nothing. Just people just trying to find new
Mm.
ways and narratives and storylines to make a series that's, you could arguably say, pretty much been one-sided since at the time of this recording. Golden State is currently up 3-1. They're just trying to find something to make into headlines. I mean, you know, the Dylan Brooks, excuse me, foul on.
Oh,
No,
Is
no
that a
shots,
subliminal?
no
Is that a
shots.
subliminal?
No, we're
You
not doing
better
no
not cut
shots.
that
We're not
out. You
doing no
better not
shots.
cut
Oh,
that
stop
out.
it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. We're not doing no shots here. The Brooks and Bricks, come on now. You just take away an O and have the I. But the Dylan Brooks, his foul on Gary Payton, you know, that was the big topic of conversation for the couple of days now, that because he was suspended for game 3. And you can make an argument that it was a pivotal game that Memphis had to win. They ended up losing, I believe. No, they ended up winning, or one of those things. No, they ended up losing, my bad. And so, you know, I myself wouldn't call it a dirty play. I think it was a dangerous play because now with the new rules implemented into the NBA, when a player gets off his feet, he is in the most vulnerable position and you can't control how you're going to land. And so he unfortunately landed awkwardly, and most of the impact braced his fall and messed up his elbow. Now obviously he has a fractured elbow and he's most likely going to be done for the rest of the postseason. That was the only thing I'll probably say the NBA did right, was suspending Brooks, because again, I don't think it was a dirty play. It was a dangerous play.
Yes.
We're all taught in the game of basketball, no layups. If somebody's going through, hey, get a hard foul, but don't try to injure the person. And like I said, unfortunately, he landed wrong. And those were just the unfortunate freak acts and consequences. But I feel like that call was sort of deterring players to play hard-nosed physical defense, because if somebody's going for a layup, you don't want them to get 2 easy points on you, because every point is critical in playoff basketball. You know, Golden State just won game 4 by what, 3 points. Those points could have swung the other way. So I think it's just much to do about nothing. But I really kind of don't like the whole, every single foul that's been called by the referees always has to get looked at for flagrant. I'm like, that's just stopping the game. You stopping the momentum. There is no point of doing that. I understand you want to protect the players, but it's like, damn, if I look at somebody, that's a flagrant too. Oh, we're looking for hostile act. Oh, if I smack you on the wrist while you're about to swing for a shot, oh, we're looking for hostile excessive act. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, come on. We're trying to play basketball. Again, I understand what the NBA is doing, protect the players at all costs because they are the product. But when you just keep going to the monitor, looking at every single play to see if it's a flagrant, looking for ways to kick somebody out, I'm just like, all right, now we're just taking the fun, the excitement, and the momentum out the game.
Slowing it down too, you know. So you tend to agree then, like they just let them play, right?
Yeah, just let him play. You just because again, that's the only thing I agree with. I believe that he should, in terms of Dylan Brooks situation, because again, it was a reckless and dangerous play, but not dirty, because we're always taught, hey, hard-nosed fouls, no easy twos. But Draymond Green getting kicked out game 1, you know, I thought that was a flagrant 1 at most, but a flagrant 2. And then you have, you know, Ja Morant, who we all love, talking about, he tweeted out broke the code, because that's what Steve Kerr said after GP got injured on the play with Dylan Brooks, talk about broke the code. And it's funny that wasn't even the play Ja Morant hurt his knee. It was when he actually went up for a jump shot to block Klay Thompson's 3-pointer, and he actually bumped knees with them and landed a little bit awkwardly. And then that's why Ja quickly deleted that tweet after. So it's just in that series alone, with the whole unnecessary foul calls, too much
Mm.
chirping going back and forth from both sides. I mean,
Mhm.
I like that, but it's just I just don't like we got to go to the monitor. Let's see if this is a flagrant 2 or ejection. And like I said, with the technical fouls, I mean, can a player not express emotion after making a huge play?
Right. Yeah.
Like it's like becoming the NFL, the no fun league.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I think this is the first time in history all three of us are in agreement.
I haven't had a rebuttal yet. No, I agree. I mean, it kills the momentum, but sometimes plays happen so quickly, and a lot of the times the referees are looking at the other player's
Hostile
reaction.
act.
They're looking at the reaction, and maybe they should bring back the rule of assessing technicals for obvious flopping. You know what I mean? How about flagrant flopping? Because that was, there's just a lot of, we all know who the floppers are. But yeah, it's just,
Yeah, it's too much. I wanted to ask you guys a question, and you mainly see smaller guys in the NBA who are going up for a dunk or layup, those high leapers. If they get hit, they're most likely going to get called a flagrant 1 or flagrant 2 in favor of them based on how they land. Have you ever seen LeBron James or Scottie Pippen or Shaq, those bigger, stronger dudes, get called for a flagrant 1, 2, or technical foul for committing those fouls in the air, like in the layup? I've never seen LeBron James being called for a flagrant 1. I haven't seen Shaq get called in terms of in favor of them, because you're like, whoa, Shaq is 7'1", he's almost 300 pounds. LeBron is 6'8", 6'9", he's 250, 260. You got Scottie Pippen, who's like 6'8", or 200 plus, all those other great players. When you look at players who are super strong, it's like, well, we don't know. We think that you could take the hit, so we don't know if that's a foul for you or against you. And it's like, and Draymond Green said it best, like, if you're going to referee, it has to be even on both sides. No matter, I could be the biggest, strongest dude in the world. If somebody smacks me across the face or smacks me in my eye, that should be a flagrant 1 or flagrant 2, according to the letter of the law that the NBA has written. What do you guys think about that?
I think that you go with, for example, right, Shaq played a more physical game. So, you know what I mean? Like, so like when he's talking about, like, for today, I think it was Hoops, you earlier today posted how Shaq was talking about he would have just thrown him, a couple of Rudy Gobert, a couple of elbows, you know what I mean? And let him know he was there, and, showed him the fear of God and all that. It's like, again, you know what I mean? Like, so he goes up and he gets hurt coming down. Is that the result? Like, we can't, defense can't control how the offensive player lands, all that. So, like, how is that, judging how severe the foul is, whether they get hurt or not? Unless it's an intentional, which is what flagrant fouls are for. But where's the line between intentional and just playing a good physical game? Especially the guys you were bringing up, for example, you down low. If somebody goes up in the paint against a LeBron or a Shaq, they knew they were going to get hit. You know what I mean? Especially against a Shaq, they knew they were going to get hit. Going up, they were going to have to take some contact. That's what paint basketball is about. So, like, no, if you're going where I think you're going with that, I agree with you on that too. Like, if you're going in the paint, you gotta, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's different on the perimeter, I think, though. You know what I mean? Like, if you hit a 3-point shooter like Steph on the line and cause him to break his ankle out there, you're hitting him kind of hard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But in the paint, like, come on, man, this dude's big. That's why you're so big in the paint. You make your living down there. Like, you got to take a couple of lumps down there, man. I mean, it is what it is. That's that's just how I felt about it. I think even the paint is cutting too soft when we talking like that.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times the benefit of the doubt is not always given to the bigger, stronger player when in terms of drawing a foul, because they don't react the same. They're not, if you're not flailing or you're not falling automatically, then, you weren't fouled. And meanwhile, some of them are, it's like, listen, I have a legitimate reason to be upset at the how the game is called, because I'm getting fouled and it's not getting called, you know. But you know, again, people think that basketball isn't a contact sport, or people don't consider it a contact sport. Just because you're not wearing gloves, pads, or a helmet doesn't mean it's not a contact sport. There's a
Yeah.
lot of contact.
Yeah, man. As it should be, if you ask me, you know, especially in the in the paint, you know what I mean? Especially. So, I mean, I don't know if that answers your question. Was like, you know,
Yeah. No, it kind of does. You know, but no matter how big, strong, tall you are, everybody should be refereed the same. Because no matter
yes,
a smack or rake in the eye is going to cause the same damage to a player that's 7 foot compared to a player that's 6'3". So
yeah.
should,
And when you're like
it
a
should
player
be
like
fair all
a
around.
right, like a John Morant or a Russell Westbrook, that like Westbrook that lives that lives in the paint, slashing and scoring, and you know what I mean, and shit like that. But you built slight. You know what I mean? Like, and you take some contact in the paint, like that. How is that? You know, like,
Well,
yeah,
sometimes to your point, they can use that to their, you know, they know that this, because they have a slight, you know, a smaller build or a slim
yeah,
build, you
yeah,
know, that they can say, okay, well, you know what, I can really sell this foul. I can
Mhm.
really, you know, I can get a ref's attention. So, you know, sometimes they use that to their advantage. If I keep driving into the paint,
hmm
at some point, I know I'm going to get fouled, and they're going to have to see it, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah. And that's, I don't know, but that goes back to the whole thing. It's like, you know, like, now we're gonna stop the game every 5 seconds, you know, because like an N1 is an N1. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you miss the shot, you miss the shot. I have never liked the fact that some of these players play for the foul and not for the shot anyway.
Mm,
You know, I don't think that's supposed to be the game. You're robbing the fans when you do that. Like,
mm,
that actually really does
mm.
annoy me. You know what I mean?
I can
Like,
think of a couple of players who do
yeah,
that
yeah, quite a
from the
few.
perimeter.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But it's like you playing for
Mr. Party down hamstring, but you know, but we'll let that go.
He gonna be out for a while.
Yeah.
But I don't like, I don't like playing for the foul. Like, I just don't like it. The foul should be incidental. You know what I mean? You should be playing for the and one, if anything.
Yeah.
You know, but no, playing for the foul, like, come on, man. Like, Kobe never played for the foul.
Hmm.
You know, and we ain't talking that long ago with Kobe. So, you know, and the league hasn't changed that much, man. These dudes that have been doing this, they just learned from the wrong dudes. They've been doing this their whole careers. So, you know,
I blame
And just like
AAU.
I blame LeBron.
when in doubt, blame LeBron. That's the media slogan.
That's always my slogan. Prices go up, I blame LeBron.
The price of
Gas is
gas.
going up.
Gas
Blame
going
LeBron.
up. Damn that LeBron.
All right. So continuing out, we have 2 tough series in the Eastern Conference. 2-2 series between the defending NBA champions Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics, and a 2-2 series along at the time of this recording between the number 1 seed in the East, the Miami Heat, and the Philadelphia 76ers. Now that the Sixers have gotten Joel Embiid back, do they have a realistic shot at taking out Miami? And can the Milwaukee Bucks win this series against Boston without their second best player in Chris Middleton? What do you guys think?
Well, I'll let you go and start with this one, King.
Yes and yes. So Sixers versus the Heat, yeah. You know what I mean? The fact that the series is tied 2-2, I'll let that speak for itself. Yeah. I don't have any dogs in that fight, you know, but I mean, you know, you count the Sixers or the Heat at this point out at your own risk. You know? As far as the Bucks versus, I mean, you know, as long as they got the Greek freak down there, they got, you know what I mean, they got a chance. I mean, Middleton, I don't know. Yeah, they got a chance. It's less likely now, but they got a chance. You know what I mean? Especially, like, let's admit it, like, Tatum's performance in the game 3 wasn't, you know what I mean? So if he's going to be inconsistent, then yeah, the Bucks have a chance.
I feel like the
and I like Tatum, by the way. You know,
Jason Tatum.
but Yeah,
Tatum,
Jason
yeah.
Tatum, but I didn't like his performance in game 3. Like, what was he, like 15, like missed 15 out of 19? Like
Um, I think that I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure one of you will, but I feel like the Bucks have more scoring options because they still have Holiday. As
mm,
Smart is not the type of shooter that is going to give you and that's going to be a threat that in that regard. You know what I mean?
mm,
So when you have after Horford and Horford, as your third option, and
yeah,
after Tatum and Brown, you know, um, how much shooting is going to match up with Holiday and Antetokounmpo and at this point even Bobby Portis. I mean, I just feel like they have more offensive weapons that could at least stretch it to a 7. Whereas uh, the Boston Celtics really their calling card really is defense at this point. So if they can stop that, that's fine. But if you're trying to get into a shootout, I don't think that's going to be in their favor.
Yeah.
mm,
I think with the Bucks, they have the best player right now on the planet, Giannis. So anything is possible with them, and they have championship pedigree. So they've been there. They've done that before. My only concern with the Bucks about them winning the series without Chris Middleton is that they got to be able to find another scorer, another 20 plus per night reliable scorer outside of Giannis. I mean, Giannis can't do it. I mean, he can do everything, but you shouldn't rely on him to do every single thing. I mean, I think it was game 3. He had to drop 40 plus points just for them to win by a couple points. And that's when Jason Tatum had an awful game. Jaylen Brown wasn't knocking down all the shots. So that was very, very eye concerning for me. In game 4, which they lost, Al Horford decided to go berserk after Giannis baptized him. And then Horford returned the other favor at the other end and baptized him too. Drops a career high, a playoff career high at 30 points. And you're looking at the box score game 4, there was only about 4 people in double digits. Grayson Allen, who had like 24 against Chicago last series, and Kyle Kyle doesn't like Grayson Allen, but he gave you 7 points, 3 of 7 shooting. You look at Bobby Portis, who you just mentioned. He was single digits in scoring, and he played about 15 minutes, so he only had 4 points. George Hill only had 5 points. So Bobby Portis, who's a 6 man on that team, he's gonna have to contribute in the scoring department and at least be a 15, 20 point a night scorer that he's capable of being without Middleton services.
How
Same
about
thing with,
Brooks?
huh?
How about
Lopez. Oh, Brooke
Lopez?
Lopez. Lopez, he had a solid game. He had 17, but I think he needs to bring that up to about 20, 25. Kind of, he needs to have those flashbacks of Brooke Lopez from the Nets because he was the number 1 option in the Nets a few years ago. So we need to see that Brooke Lopez. So that's just my only concern. Sometimes watching this team play, their offense, they get Giannis too centric. And it's just like, all right, Giannis, go 1-on-1. And you
mm,
can't use the wall logic anymore because now he's developed passing to his game. So he'll dish out the 3-point shooters. But the thing is, they got to make the shot. And when they're not
mm.
making the shot, you just like, well, damn, that gives the team a fast break option. And Boston got those young guns and Brown, Smart, and Tatum, and they're just gonna outrun you in points in the paint and
Mhm.
fast break points out the gym. So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
my really only concern with the Bucks. I think, like I said, championship tested. They have championship DNA. They have the best player in the world right now, playing at an extremely high level. I will never ever count out the Bucks to win, but
Mm,
they got to change some things up. Going with the Sixers and the Heat. Embiid obviously is not at 100% with that fracture in his face and that torn ligament in his wrist, but I believe his presence alone out there, makes such a huge difference because he has to attract so much of the defense's attention.
mm,
Last 2 games, 24 points, 11 rebounds. He had a double in game 3, and game 4 he had 17-5. But James Harden finally decided to wake up and drop 31. kind of flashbacks to Houston, James Harden. That was because of the attention that Embiid was drawing, and Embiid gives you so much defense gives you so much on the defensive end. It opens up James Harden to kind of facilitate and operate more. And Maxi's starting to get it going too. Tobias Harris has been having a really good playoffs this year. Not a lot of people talking about him. So I feel like Embiid's presence alone opens the floor more for Sixers players to operate, because you got to pay attention to the big man down below. And sometimes Adebayo's going to need some help in the post. And then that leaves a 3-point shooter or somebody kicking drive. So I feel like they do have a chance, but I'm still picking with Miami in 7. I think it'll go all the way 7. And between Boston and Milwaukee, I think Bucks will win in 7 as well too. So I think I see both series going 7.
And with the Bucks coming out of the East.
Yeah, still Bucks coming out of the East. I think at the time, if they go to the finals, Eastern Conference Finals, hopefully Middleton will be back by then, because that'll be epic showdown, Heat Bucks. But yeah, I have the Bucks still coming out the East.
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt like these lopsided teams don't go all the way to the finals. You know what I mean? Let alone win. It's like you're saying, like when you start relying, because when you were talking about the Bucks just now, you could have been talking about Dallas. And that's why I don't think the Dallas beats the Suns, for example. You know what I mean? It's too well rounded. Everybody's like, when Chris Paul went down, in Phoenix, it was like, the team's done, or they're going to slow down now, and they picked up steam. You know what I mean? Because Phoenix is a balanced, well-rounded team. I think those are always the better bets for winning championships. That's an opinion, though.
No, I agree. I mean, even Jason Kidd, when he got hired, one of the things he said, I know it was kind of joking. He says, just get the ball to Luka. That was his play. That was on his clipboard. So, there's not a whole lot of creativity there when Luka's there. Plus, I think he would cry a lot if he didn't get the ball in his hands all the time. So,
until he gets
a shot at Luka. Yeah. Hold on, we're not gonna blow past that.
But I agree. I agree with him. Yeah, I think you know what I mean. Like he would be like, why am I not getting the ball? Like, but you. That's what's thinking.
Oh my God!
But shots being thrown here.
But if he goes down, where's Dallas?
I mean,
answers that question. He wants the ball all the time. He plays down low a lot.
Hold on. When Dallas, when he did go down the first series, I believe he missed like 3 games. Jalen Brunson and the rest of them did carry the load to beat a very, very talented Utah team. So, yeah, I mean, even you could say what you want about Utah. There's been some rumblings about them not being on the same page. Rudy Gobert wants out.
You've said that.
No,
to be fair.
If you literally go online with the reports, there's been saying like they want out. So, but still, Utah, they were a number 4 seed in the Western Conference. That's still a very competent team.
But Utah is not Golden State. Utah is not the Sun. You could get, get off against Utah when you're not getting off against Phoenix or Golden State or Milwaukee or the Celtics. You know what I mean? Like, there's the 1A teams and then the 1B. If you want to put it like that, you can cobble together a series against Utah. If he goes down against the Suns, their series is over. And never mind, even if they win, who's waiting? Golden State. You know what I mean? Like, so it's all on him. I don't know. I'm beating that dead horse here, but I just don't like lopsided teams like that. I don't think they ever really work out.
One way or another, something gets exposed when it's not well balanced.
Yeah. I agree. The rest of the team did step up against Utah, but again, that was Utah. You know what I mean? I'm no disrespect, but I mean,
Utah.
Yeah, I mean, they're gone. They're on vacation now.
They're going fishing.
Yeah,
they with us watching the playoffs from home on TNT and ESPN.
Nope. No Disney World.
No Disney World.
Going to Disneyland. All right. What's next?
Oh God.
I'm sorry.
All right. So Nikola Jokic, the Joker, has been named the 2022 league MVP. This is the second time in a row that he's won back-to-back awards. 13th player in NBA history to win back-to-back consecutive MVPs. I wanted to ask you guys, this was a huge topic on Twitter the last few days. One, was he deserving of this award? And if he was not, who do you guys think the award should have gone to? Who wants to go first?
John Morant, Giannis, Steph Curry. I mean, like, what do those guys all have in common? I won't say.
They're still playing?
They are still playing, all of them. Yeah, nice cleanup. Yeah, nice cleanup, because I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to do this family friendly. So I'm not going to go there. He's a lot. Just put it like this: like, you guys recognize this name, Jerry Cooney, boxing. Yeah. Think back.
Listen, I kind of wonder sometimes. I know it's all about votes, obviously about votes, but it's who votes and what they see in terms of MVP status. For me, I feel like the MVP award should be given to be presented once the finals are a matchup is determined. I feel like if you're the league's most valuable player, then it's one thing to keep your team afloat, and during the regular season, but if you suddenly you can't make it out of the first round of the playoffs, I don't know. I just don't know how you are the most valuable player of the league when you're already home in the second round. That's just me, and that's no knock on Nikola at all, on Jokic at all, because he's obviously he is the man and he's good at what he does. He's a point center. How many times have you seen a center that can handle the way he does and distribute the way he does? It's happened, but it hasn't happened very often. So I mean, the man is engineered in a lab, I think. But at the same time, if you're the league's most valuable player, I think there should be something like, okay, well, yeah, he should be still playing. His team should still be in the playoffs. That's just my opinion.
I mean, like, I feel like to reiterate the point that you're making, Kyle, I totally agree with that. Like, one, this should be decided after the finals.
Yeah.
That's one. And two, world's called Giannis the best player on the planet twice in a row. I didn't disagree. So that's where I stand on it. Like, how could the Joker have gotten it over Giannis? I just don't get that. He's the most valuable player on his team.
Yeah.
But,
that I agree. That's definite. That's a brain. But
I mean, in the NBA, no, not over Giannis.
I think the reason why Giannis didn't get it, he's getting the same treatment that LeBron and Steph Curry were getting. When you can make an argument, LeBron James should have way more than 4 MVPs. He's clearly been the best player for the last, almost 2 decades. But they're like, we're not going to give it to the same player every single year, the same award. And it's just a fatigue factor. Same thing when you look at the NFL, Tom Brady is clearly the best, most accomplished, best quarterback, but they're not going to give him MVP every single year. So I feel like that's the treatment that Giannis is getting. And that's why Giannis didn't get it. Now, they possibly could have made an argument for John Morant. I mean, nobody saw Memphis being this good. The second team that has the best record, not just the West, but all overall in the NBA, both conferences. Nobody saw Memphis being this good. John Morant just exploded into superstar status. He should have been a strong argument for MVP, not most improved. That's another reason I had with that. That was a BS award that a number 2 overall pick should not be in a conversation for most improved. You're expected to improve because there's a reason why you're picked number 2 overall. That's
who was the number 1 pick that year?
Okay, well,
there's a
okay,
whole
but
lot of
to-
expectations. He should
yeah, there was a
have.
whole, but also, I mean, the guy hasn't played. He missed more games than he played. So you look
Right,
at
but
Ja
my
is
point is,
reliable.
but my point
Zion
is
is
that
like all
it,
street clothes.
just to speak to
Mm.
what your point is that if you're that high a pick, there shouldn't be a whole lot. I mean, there should be a lot of expectations placed upon you. You know what I mean? And he's a number 2 pick.
Yeah.
So the
So
number 1 pick.
he shouldn't even been mentioned in most improved because you were supposed to, when you pick a top 5 in the top 5, the team is looking at you to be the next franchise player. That's most of the reason. Even top 10 is like, all right, we're looking at you to carry the keys for the franchise for the next 10 years. We're gonna help develop you to the player that we hope that you could become.
Mhm.
Jordan Poole, who got picked in the 2nd round, that's somebody who should have been most improved because
That was
nobody
my
saw
vote.
him being that good.
Not
You know what I'm saying?
not that I was given a place to vote, but I definitely voted for
I
him.
think a lot of
And-
people would have agreed with you, Kyle.
Yeah, I agree too. Yeah.
And
definitely.
I just think that there's a lot of other things going into, again, to speak to your point, Worlds, that there's a lot of other things that factored in when it comes to a lottery pick expected to be the franchise player / savior and so forth. It's about the help that you have, or your teammates as well. You know what I mean? And then it's about your persona or your style. Are you a one-on-one player? Are you somebody who gathers everybody and rallies the troops and can make your teammates better? Or are you somebody who can just put up flashy numbers on a bad team? You know what I mean? Most of the time, teams that have lottery picks aren't good teams. So, you have a lot on your shoulders if you're going in there trying to turn this franchise around and be a savior. So, but point I wanted to make before was that when you have someone that is what were we talking about earlier? We were talking
We'll talk about Jokic and his MVP.
Right. So I just
Sidetracked.
I feel way sidetracked. We went. What was the point I wanted to make? I should be taking notes. Oh man, it's a good thing this isn't live TV. But
You said there were a lot of factors.
well, I was talking about being, his Worlds' point about John Morant being MIP as opposed to MVP. The one thing about Ja that I felt would kind of take him out of the running for MVP of the league, and the only thing, and it's just an asterisk, is that when he went down in the regular season, his team went on a hell of a run, winning streak. You know what I mean? So yes, he's a big part of that team. He's a big part of their success, but they didn't fall apart without him. And I think that part of the testament to being a true MVP is to know that you're not only making your teammates better when you're on the court, but you are elevating that team. And they didn't need him for that long stretch that they went on when he went down. So that's my only thing. And it's not anything big, it's not any incendiary remark or anything, a knock against him. It's just, that would mean to me would take him out of the running in terms of MVP. That's the only thing I'd say about that.
Well, they damn sure needed him the other night.
Mm.
But
Again, which makes him the team MVP, but not
Right.
the league MVP.
Right.
but
Giannis is the guy that makes other teams better when they come into Milwaukee. You know what I mean? Which to me shows more value as a player in the league. Like I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, he is the most valuable player on his team, but in the league, I just have a hard time agreeing with that one.
So, yeah, let me go back to finishing what I was saying. I feel like, again, the Giannis fatigue was a factor. Not going to give it to a guy 3 out of 4 years. Same thing that was going to give it to Steph Curry 3 straight years in a row.
Do you agree with that though?
What, that Jokic should have won?
No, yeah. Actually, yeah. Do you agree he should have won?
Me personally, no, because I'm looking at reasons why they gave it to him. One, there's like, okay, you're missing without your 2-star other players in MPJ and Jamal Murray. So it's like, all right, more of the offensive load is going to be on your shoulders. Two, I mean, you look at the West, it's very gutted. Like every single team who made the playoffs is loaded from head to toe. And the top four teams right now between Phoenix and Dallas, you could say are all championship contending teams. And his first round matchup was against the Golden State Warriors. Now, yes, he didn't show up to expectations, but MVP is a regular season award. It does not go into the postseason because the same thing, you can make an argument that, well, look at Giannis when he won, I believe, his second or first MVP, and it was in the bubble. It was the second MVP. It was in the bubble. He went to bed and got bounced out the first round by Miami. A lot of people was like, oh, well, we can't give Giannis MVP anymore because he can't take his team to the semifinals. And then you know what he did next year? Took the team to the finals, dropped 50 in game 7, won finals MVP, and won a championship. So we all about in this generation society, we like to build people up, tear them down, and build them back up. Now,
It's the
I don't
American
think
way.
Jokic, that's it is. I don't think Jokic will be able to do that because of the conference that he's in, and it's just it is just hell just to even get to the semifinals with the teams that they have to face. But I just feel like it was just the effect, like, okay, well, we don't, who we're gonna give it to. I mean, Embiid was the favorite into the throughout the season because he'd been on the wrong. I believe Embiid should have definitely been, if you hadn't give it to him, Embiid should have gotten it because he was putting up monster numbers. And what uh the Sixers finished fourth with everything that he had to deal with, Ben Simmons drama and stuff like that, turmoil in the locker room. So it's like, why not Embiid should have won it? He got screwed. And then you look at what's the criteria for MVP? Are we just gonna give it to? We always look for the media because we're part of the media, but we're part of the common sense media. They always look for like narratives. Okay, well, let me look for something in this team that I could give it to over this player. Like, no, it should be who is the MVP, who is the most valuable player to that team. If I take this player away from this team, what would they be without him? And I believe
I got a just slight disagreement with you there. It's the most valuable player to the league. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I think no. I think no, but most valuable. You talked about how much impact do you have in your team's success that you're contributing to. It's like most valuable player. Look at Chris Paul. I believe Chris Paul should have 2 MVPs. One when he got traded to OKC. Nobody saw that team even. Everybody saw OKC being a lottery. Nobody saw him being that good. And then what did they do? I believe they were the 4th or 5th seed in the Western Conference. And I think they got to the second round with a whole bunch of 21, 22-year-olds. Then he gets traded to Phoenix. Phoenix wasn't even in the playoffs without Chris Paul. They add him first year, and then they're in the finals. Second year, he's there. They're the number 1 seed in the Western Conference.
Plus, he's
Record
done
64 games.
He's done what Kyle was talking about. He's made his teammates.
Yeah,
he's elevated the entire Suns organization because
I just
went down your book and the rest of the guys stepping in. So
I just want to clarify something though. What I had said earlier, I'm not saying that they should votes for MVP are based on playoff numbers, things like that. I'm saying that if you are the most valuable player in the league, then you should probably be doing enough to make sure that your team is going as far as possible. Further than they went, further than winning 1 game in the first round before getting bumped. That's what I feel. I'm not saying that you have to take into account playoff appearances, but I still feel that the vote should take place later in the postseason, not at some random arbitrary time like now.
Yeah. I feel like the media shouldn't even be voting to begin with, because most of those guys who have a license to give their opinions on basketball don't even know what they're talking about. Like you said, there's no way John Morant should have won Most Improved. I believe we all believe that should have been Jordan Poole. There's no way that, you can make an argument that Evan Mobley should have won Rookie of the Year. Scotty Barnes is a nice player, but Evan Mobley, there was a stretch when Jared Allen was out. He was carrying the team, averaging 20 and 15.
Right.
So it's like, how does that not get Rookie of the Year? So, I feel like it should be up to the players, the peers, like the people who are watching this and playing against this competition. And I feel like you will have less biases, because in the media, they're biased about everything. Like, Skip Bayless doesn't like LeBron for God knows what. He's like, well, LeBron's in the ring. I'm not going to vote him. I'm going to vote for John Morant, or I'm going to vote for Jason Tatum, or I'm gonna vote for DeJounte Murray from the San Antonio Spurs. You know, it's just like, come on, it's just get rid of that. It's and I agree with you. I feel like it should be announced at the end of the year or when the playoffs are, because you have these breaks, these interruptions where, okay, the Raptors were practicing, getting ready for, I believe it was like game 4 against Philly. And it was like, oh, Scotty Barnes, you won this award. And it's like, and the award, the trophies got less. Usually you get like a big ass trophy. Now he just got like a freaking basketball. Like, what the hell is this? Like, they just downgraded the size of the trophies now. It's like, what are we doing here, NBA? Like, did you guys run out of silver?
Oh
silver
my
making
God.
plates? I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that it's the whole voting system, in my opinion, is flawed. And I believe that the MVP should have went to Chris Paul. He may not have the sexiest, flashy numbers, but his impact on Phoenix is well documented. They're a favorite to go to the finals again this year. And you take them off Phoenix, they're not a playoff team. You put them on Phoenix, look what they have accomplished with him on the roster. Look what he has done with OKC. Everywhere that Chris Paul goes, the team reaches new heights in terms of level of success. So that's my opinion.
Right.
I mean,
No argument for
Jokic
me.
is to Dallas, is to Denver, what Luka is to Dallas. You know what I mean? Like, he could have got it. And I don't know. I agree with you guys. I have a million and one reasons why I'm not, but why it frustrates me, but we'll be here forever and we don't want that.
Well, that's
So
why
no,
they
I-
need to put us in charge of the NBA. We at least know what's going on.
some common sense decisions made there.
Ooh,
Real.
that would be exciting.
That would be real exciting. You know how good this league would be?
Although I do like Adam
What?
Silver. That is the best to
Silver?
me. Adam Silver is
Yeah,
the best
yes.
Silver's doing a good job.
commissioner
Yeah,
in
yeah.
professional sports, as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
that's
yes.
like saying the best of a bad batch, because all commissioners suck. Yeah, he's the best of the bad apples. We'll say it like that.
Wow.
He's better than what's his predecessor's name?
David Stern.
Oh,
Yeah,
David
Stern.
Stern.
Oh.
Rest in peace.
I don't care.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't do that.
Ouch.
Like, wait, no, I don't do that. Like, I don't do that. If I didn't like you when you were alive, I'm not
I'm not
gonna
gonna
all of a
like you
sudden
when you're gone.
be a fan because you're dead. Like,
Oh,
you
well,
go-
at least you're
you
not
go,
a
"Oh,
hypocrite
I'm
when it
real.
came to
I'm not a
Kevin
hypocrite,
Samuels.
man. Yeah, you could be no, he was a frog when he was alive. I'm not gonna go any further.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going any further.
God.
Oh, you like
Respect
David Stern?
I didn't say
No,
I
couldn't
would-
stand that
yeah,
guy.
we didn't say we liked him, but you would just said he was a frog. Like that's strong.
He was. He was.
I mean,
He was
I mean,
very
that-
reptilian.
Oh my
Well,
Hey, I had to
Now-
give us a line for the night, right? Didn't I?
Oh God.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, at least you're. I don't know if you guys watch Kevin Samuels, but not to take off topic, but he
Oh,
got a lot
man.
of, controversial reactions, polarized reactions after he passed away.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was a fan of him. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels.
Rest in peace.
God
Yeah.
rest your soul. But
I'd also like to
Kyle,
send a
Kane,
rest in
Jesus.
space. Rest in space. Rest in peace to Adrian Payne.
Yes.
oh yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, and rest in peace to David Stern too. I just, I didn't like him. I don't wish him eternal torment.
I
or
just
anything.
I
Like,
just,
let's not go that far. I'm
no,
not
I mean,
wishing
you
him
know,
damnation. Like, rest in peace, bud. But I didn't like you. Like,
well, no, it's all right. Respect,
Yeah,
respect,
yeah.
respect
but
your
yeah, rest
honesty.
in peace. Yeah.
Respect your honesty. Respect his hustle.
Keep that same
Oh
energy.
yeah. He's accomplished more than I have so far. But so far. Yeah,
Well,
so
I mean,
far.
you can accomplish more than him now that he's
Exactly. I got
no longer
time. I'm
here.
still on the track.
This is a tough room. This is a tough crowd, boy.
Like, you die, you live.
Feisty tonight, man.
Kind of sticks you in place.
Please do me a favor. Please don't besmirch my name when I'm gone. Please.
Anything bad I've had to say about you,
You'll say to my face.
I've said it directly to you already. So
But,
we don't.
But no, all jokes aside, I watch a lot of NCAA men's basketball, and I gravitate towards Michigan State a lot amongst a few other teams, and that saddens me, especially in the
Yeah.
like the senseless way it happened. So,
Yeah.
you know, blessings and prayers to his family and loved ones,
Mhm.
and rest in peace to Adrian Payne.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real. I second that. And you never really know when your last breath is gonna be on this earth. You know, every day we wake up, we get closer and closer to our expiration date. So we all got to make it the best that we can and leave the long lasting memory, so that could be carried by through generations. So yeah, rest in peace to Adrian Payne and everybody else
Mhm.
who you mentioned too that lost their life, along with David Stern. You may not be his biggest fan, Kane, but rest in peace to David
No,
Stern.
rest in peace. Rest in peace, Don.
No,
Rest in
no.
peace.
I'm
He
just
was a
messing with
worthy
you. I'm just messing with
adversary. Let's say
I'm just
that.
messing with you. Nah, but
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy though. Yeah, life is very unexpected. So
Yeah.
same thing too. Like rest in peace. There was a football player who passed away, played for the Steelers. I made a video about it. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Wow, that is really bad. Dwayne Haskins
Yes.
died at the age of 24. Um, it was
Hmm.
about a month ago. So rest in peace to him too.
Yes.
All right, life
Oh.
precious. Take every advantage of it, man. You never know when it's gonna be your last. All right.
Precious and fleeting.
Yes.
Yes.
This is true.
Yes, for real. For real. All right.
And now I'm
Hoops all
depressed.
in.
So thanks.
Thank you very
Uh,
much.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
yeah. Well,
Go ahead, Worlds.
drink some
Bring us
margaritas.
home.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll be fine
I
after
got
this.
plenty of
Go-
stuff.
go
Bring us on, Worlds.
I got you guys. All right. So Hoops All In is sponsored by Exceptional Life Fitness. You can find them on Instagram, social media. Exceptional Life Fitness, founded by that man at the bottom with his partner, Kane Legacy. And shout out to Juan as well, too. He's part of the Rain Multimedia team. Hoops All In has been produced by Rain Multimedia. Go to rainmm.com. Subscribe to their YouTube channel at Rain Multimedia. Follow them on social media, Rain Multimedia on Twitter and Instagram. And as always, Hoops All In, all broadcasting rights belong to Worlds TV. Subscribe to Worlds TV YouTube channel, Worlds TV at Instagram, Twitter. Follow the show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok as well too at Hoops All In. We now have a TikTok, so we're finally getting
Ooh.
jiggy with the times.
We are ticking and talking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sounded old as hell when I said that. I'm only 24, guys.
I didn't sound that much better, but okay.
Jiggy with it and taking
Yeah,
it.
he
Jiggy
said
with it.
jiggy. I said
He's got Will. He's got Will
Both
Smith
of
on the
you.
brain.
I thought I was at the VFW post for.
he said we're ticking with the time.
We are ticking and talking and getting jiggy. Shit. Y'all gonna crash my career. I'm feeling.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
Oh yeah.
man.
All right. World's Francois, Kane Legacy, Kyle Anthony. Another episode of Hoops All in the books. Signing off. See you guys next time.
take care, everybody.